A Ship to the Sleepy Stars. Chapter 1. The Dreamer and the Dream. In the waning years of the 22nd century, Earth had become a vibrant, bustling hub of humanity's greatest achievements. The cities were towers of glass and steel, the skies were dotted with flying cars, and the oceans teemed with underwater cities. Yet, amidst this technological utopia, there was a yearning for something more, a desire to explore the vast, uncharted cosmos. This yearning was most acutely felt by a young astronomer named Dr. Alara Miles, who spent her nights gazing at the stars through the powerful telescopes at the Lunar Observatory. Alara was a dreamer, a visionary who believed that the true destiny of humanity lay among the stars. Her colleagues often found her studies on distant, habitable planets a bit too fantastical, but Alara's passion was unyielding. She had a particular fascination with a cluster of stars known as the Sleepy Stars, a group of dim, red giants that seemed to pulse gently in the night sky, as if they were ancient, slumbering giants. One evening, while monitoring the sleepy stars, Alara detected a faint, recurring signal. It was unlike anything she had ever observed before, too regular to be natural, yet too subtle to be easily detected. Intrigued, she devoted months to analyzing the signal, eventually uncovering a hidden message. The message was ancient, encoded in a language that had long been forgotten on Earth, but Alara, with the help of advanced AI, managed to decipher it. The message spoke of a civilization that once thrived around one of the sleepy stars, a civilization that had mastered the art of interstellar travel and had left behind a legacy of knowledge and technology. The message was a call, a beacon inviting any who could hear it to visit their world and learn from their legacy. Alara knew that this was the opportunity she had been waiting for. She presented her findings to the International Space Exploration Council, ISEC, a global organization dedicated to the exploration of the cosmos. Initially met with skepticism, her persistence and the undeniable evidence of the signal eventually won them over. The ISEC decided to fund a mission to the Sleepy Stars, and Alara was chosen to lead the expedition. Chapter 2. The Quest Begins. The ship that would carry Alara and her crew to the Sleepy Stars was named the Somnium, after the Latin word for dream. It was a marvel of engineering, designed to travel faster than any spacecraft before it. The Somnium was equipped with advanced propulsion systems, AI-driven navigation, and a suite of scientific instruments that would allow the crew to study the stars and planets in unprecedented detail. Alara assembled a diverse team for the mission. Dr. Marcus Chin, a brilliant astrophysicist, Lieutenant Arya Thompson, a skilled pilot, Dr. Sophia Patel, a biotechnologist, and Engineer Liam Harper, a mechanical genius. Together, they represented the best of humanity's scientific and technological prowess. The launch was a momentous occasion, broadcast live to billions of people around the world. The Somnium rose from the Earth's surface, piercing the atmosphere and hurtling into the vast expanse of space. As the ship accelerated to its top speed, Alara and her crew settled into the routine of interstellar travel. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months, but the excitement and anticipation never waned. Chapter 3. The Journey. The Somnium's journey was not without its challenges. The crew faced numerous technical issues, from minor malfunctions to life-threatening crises. One particularly harrowing incident occurred when a solar flare from a nearby star nearly crippled the ship's navigation systems. Liam's quick thinking and Marcus's expertise in astrophysics saved the day, but it was a stark reminder of the dangers of space travel. Despite the challenges, the crew found moments of beauty and wonder. They observed distant galaxies, studied the behavior of black holes, and even encountered a few alien civilizations. Each discovery was a reminder that the universe was vast and full of mysteries waiting to be unraveled. As the Somnium approached the Sleepy Stars, the crew began to notice something strange. The stars, which had appeared dim and slow from Earth, were now rotating in a peculiar pattern. The rotation was synchronized, almost as if the stars were dancing together. Marcus was fascinated by the phenomenon, hypothesizing that it might be a form of communication or a natural harmonic resonance. Alara, however, had a different theory. She believed that the synchronized rotation was a deliberate sign, a message from the ancient civilization that had once called this region home. She urged the crew to be cautious as they entered the star cluster. Chapter 4. The Awakened Stars. As the Somnium entered the sleepy stars cluster, the stars seemed to brighten, their gentle pulses growing more intense. The ship's sensors detected an energy field that enveloped the entire cluster, and Marcus deduced that it was a form of shield, protecting the region from external threats. The crew navigated the energy field with the help of the ship's AI, and as they emerged on the other side, they were greeted by a sight that took their breath away. The stars were no longer dim and sleepy. They were alive with vibrant, shimmering colors. The largest star in the cluster, a red giant they named Aurora, pulsed with a deep, crimson light that seemed to resonate with their very souls. Orbiting Aurora was a planet, a world that had been hidden from Earth's view by the energy field. The planet, which they named Luna Somnium, had a thick, breathable atmosphere and vast, unexplored landscapes. The crew prepared to land, their hearts racing with excitement and a touch of trepidation. The Somnium descended through the planet's atmosphere, and as they approached the surface, they saw that the planet was covered in a sprawling, ancient city. The buildings were made of a material that glowed softly in the light of Aurora, and the streets were lined with intricate statues and monuments. It was clear that this city had once been the heart of a great civilization. Chapter 5. The Legacy of the Ancients. Alara and her crew landed the Somnium in a large, open plaza at the center of the city. They donned their suits and stepped out onto the alien landscape. The air was warm and carried a sweet, floral scent, unlike anything they had experienced on Earth. The city was eerily quiet, but the gentle hum of the energy field that surrounded the planet gave it a sense of life. As they explored the city, they discovered that it was a vast library of knowledge. The buildings were filled with data crystals, holographic displays, and ancient texts. Marcus and Sophia were particularly fascinated by the biotechnological advancements of the ancient civilization. They found evidence of genetic manipulation, the creation of new life forms, and even the ability to manipulate time and space. However, the most significant discovery came when they entered the central tower of the city. Inside, they found a massive, circular chamber with a floor made of a crystalline material that pulsed in sync with Aurora. In the center of the chamber was a holographic display, showing a map of the galaxy and a series of coordinates that led to other planets within the sleepy stars cluster. The display began to play a message, one that was clearly recorded by the ancient civilization. The message was a warning, a plea for the future of the cosmos. The ancients had discovered a dark force that threatened to consume the universe, a force they called the Void Blight. They had created the energy field and the city as a sanctuary, a place where their knowledge and technology could be preserved and used to combat the Void Blight. The message ended with a challenge: to find the other planets in the cluster and activate the ancient devices that would strengthen the energy field, making it impervious to the Void Blight's influence. The crew realized that their journey was far from over. They had a new mission, one that would determine the fate of the universe. Chapter 6. The Trials of the Cluster. The crew of the Somnium set out to explore the other planets in the sleepy stars cluster, following the coordinates provided by the holographic display. Each planet was a new world, with its own unique challenges and wonders. On the first planet, Nova Serene, they encountered a race of sentient plants that communicated through a form of bioluminescence. The plants shared their knowledge with Alara and her crew, helping them understand the delicate balance of life on their planet and the importance of harmony with nature. On the second planet, Elysium, they faced a series of ancient puzzles and challenges that tested their intelligence and teamwork. The puzzles were designed to ensure that only those who were worthy of the ancients' knowledge could proceed. After days of intense effort, the crew managed to solve the puzzles, and a hidden chamber was revealed, containing advanced technology that could be used to strengthen the energy field. The third planet, Obsidian, was a world of darkness and shadows. The crew discovered that the planet was home to a race of beings who had been corrupted by the Void Blight. These beings, once peaceful and wise, had become aggressive and malevolent. The crew had to fight their way through the planet, using the technology they had gathered to weaken the Void Blight's influence and free the inhabitants from its grasp. Each planet they visited brought them closer to their goal, but also deeper into the heart of the Void Blight's presence. The energy field around the sleepy stars cluster grew stronger with each activation, but the void blight's influence also became more pervasive. Chapter 7. The Final Battle. The crew's journey culminated on the fourth and final planet, Coelum Noctis. This planet was the origin of the void blight, a dark, twisted world where the ancient civilization had made their final stand. The planet was covered in a thick, black mist that seemed to sap the life from everything it touched. As the Somnium landed, the crew prepared for the ultimate challenge. They knew that the void blight's core was hidden deep within the planet, and that they would need to confront it directly. Alara, Marcus, Sophia, and Liam worked together, using all the knowledge and technology they had gathered on their journey. They encountered the core of the void blight, a massive, dark entity that pulsed with a malevolent energy. The crew activated the final device, which emitted a powerful, resonant frequency that countered the void blight's influence. The battle was intense, with the crew fighting to maintain the frequency and the void blight struggling to resist it. In the end, the void blight was defeated. The dark mist that covered Coelum Noctis dissipated, revealing a world that was once beautiful and vibrant. The energy field around the sleepy stars cluster was now at its full strength, protecting the region from any future threats. Chapter 8. The Return to Earth. With their mission complete, Alara and her crew prepared to return to Earth. They had a wealth of knowledge and technology to share, but they also carried the weight of the challenge they had faced. The void blight was a threat that still loomed over the universe, and the knowledge they had gained was crucial for humanity's survival. The journey back to Earth was a time of reflection and planning. The crew discussed how they could use the technology to protect Earth from the void blight and how they could share the knowledge they had gathered with the rest of humanity. They also pondered the deeper questions of their journey. What did it mean to be a part of a universe that was both beautiful and dangerous? What was the true purpose of their existence? When the Somnium finally returned to Earth, it was met with a hero's welcome. The crew shared their discoveries with the ISCC and the world, and the technology they brought back was used to advance humanity in ways that had once been unimaginable. The energy field technology was adapted to create a shield around Earth, protecting it from potential threats. Alara, now a celebrated figure, continued her work as an astronomer, but her focus had shifted. She was determined to ensure that humanity would never forget the lessons learned from the sleepy stars and the ancient civilization. She wrote a book, A Ship to the Sleepy Stars, which chronicled their journey and the challenges they faced. The book became a bestseller, inspiring a new generation of explorers and dreamers. Epilogue. The dream continues. Years later, Alara stood on the observation deck of the lunar observatory, gazing at the sleepy stars. The cluster still pulsed gently, but now it was a symbol of hope and the enduring spirit of exploration. The Somnium had become a legend, a story of courage, intelligence, and the unbreakable bond of humanity. Alara smiled, knowing that the journey had only just begun. The universe was vast, and there were still countless mysteries waiting to be uncovered. She turned to the young astronomers who had gathered around her, their eyes filled with the same wonder and curiosity that had once driven her. "Remember," Alara said, her voice filled with wisdom and passion, "the stars are not just points of light in the sky. They are the dreams of ancient civilizations, the hopes of the universe, and the future of humanity. We must continue to explore, to learn, and to protect the cosmos from the shadows that threaten it." And with that, the dream of the sleepy stars continued, a beacon of light in the darkness of the unknown. Ella and the Bedtime Treasure Map. In the cozy, half-lit room of a small, enchanted cottage nestled in the heart of the whistling woods, a young girl named Ella sat tucked under her favorite patchwork quilt, her eyes wide with anticipation. It was a night much like any other, but tonight, the air was filled with a peculiar excitement that Ella couldn't quite put her finger on. The moon hung low in the sky, casting a silvery glow through the window, and the wind whispered secrets through the leaves of the ancient oak outside. Ella's mother, a kind and gentle woman with a twinkle in her eye, sat beside her on the bed, her fingers stroking the soft, worn pages of a storybook. But tonight, the storybook was different. It was an old, leather-bound tome with a faded, golden emblem on its cover, a compass with a star at its center. As her mother opened the book, Ella's heart skipped a beat. The pages were not filled with the usual stories of dragons and princesses. Instead, they contained a series of intricate maps and cryptic notes. "This, my dear Ella," her mother said, her voice soft and mysterious, "is a special bedtime story. It's a treasure map, and it will take us on a magical journey through the whistling woods." Ella's eyes widened in wonder. "A treasure map? Really? What kind of treasure?" Her mother smiled, her eyes shining with a secret. "The kind you have to discover for yourself. But first, we need to follow the clues and solve the riddles. Are you ready for an adventure?" Ella nodded eagerly, her heart pounding with excitement. "Yes, I'm ready." Her mother began to read from the map. "The first clue is written in the heart of the great oak. Find the silver leaf, and the path will be clear." Ella's mind raced as she imagined the ancient oak outside her window. She had seen it every day of her life, but never had she noticed a silver leaf. She decided to keep an eye out for it the next morning. "Good night, my little explorer," her mother said, placing a gentle kiss on Ella's forehead. "May your dreams be filled with adventure." As Ella drifted off to sleep, the map seemed to glow faintly in the moonlight, as if it were alive and waiting for the journey to begin. The next morning, Ella awoke at the first light of dawn. She threw off her quilt and dashed to the window, her eyes scanning the branches of the great oak. There, hidden among the green leaves, she saw it, a single, shimmering silver leaf. Ella's heart leapt with joy. She quickly dressed and ran outside, her bare feet pattering on the cool, dewy grass. The great oak loomed before her, its trunk thick and gnarled, its branches stretching toward the sky. Ella reached up and plucked the silver leaf, feeling a tingle of magic as it touched her fingers. She held it up to the light, and on the back, she saw a small, intricate drawing, a path that led to the edge of the woods. Ella followed the path, her steps light and her heart full of wonder. The whistling woods were always magical, but today, they seemed even more alive. The trees whispered in the breeze, and the birds sang a melody that echoed through the forest. Ella walked for what felt like hours, her eyes fixed on the silver leaf. Finally, she emerged at the edge of a clearing. There, in the center, stood a small, stone pedestal with a scroll tied to it. Ella untied the scroll and unfurled it. The parchment was old and yellowed, but the writing was clear and neat. "Brave explorer," the scroll read, "you have found the first clue. To continue your journey, you must solve this riddle. In the heart of the grove, where the shadows play, a circle of stones stands in a row. Count the stones and take the fifth. There you will find the next clue to the treasure below." Ella looked around the clearing and saw a circle of stones, just as the riddle described. She counted them: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She approached the fifth stone and, to her amazement, it was slightly loose. She pushed it aside, and a small, wooden box appeared. Inside the box was another map and a small, silver key. Ella's heart raced. She felt like she was part of something bigger, something magical. She unfolded the new map and saw that it led deeper into the woods, to a place marked with a star. The map also had a note: "Use the key to unlock the door of the enchanted cave. Inside, you will find the next clue." Ella clutched the key and the map, her mind buzzing with excitement. She set off on the new path, her steps quickening as she moved deeper into the woods. The trees grew taller and closer together, and the air filled with a mysterious, ethereal light. After a while, Ella came to a cave entrance, its mouth dark and inviting. She hesitated for a moment, then remembered the key and the map. With a deep breath, she stepped inside the cave. The air was cool and damp, and the walls were covered in shimmering crystals that glowed in the dim light. At the back of the cave, she found a wooden door, just as the map had described. Ella inserted the key into the lock, and the door creaked open with a soft, magical sound. Inside the cave, she saw a small, stone pedestal with another scroll tied to it. She untied the scroll and read the next clue: "Brave explorer, you are getting closer to the treasure. Follow the stream that runs through the forest and find the bridge where the rainbow meets the water. There, you will find the final key to unlock the treasure." Ella stepped out of the cave, her mind racing. A stream? A rainbow bridge? She felt a thrill of adventure and set off in search of the stream. She followed the sound of running water and soon found a crystal-clear brook that wound its way through the forest. The water was so pure that Ella could see the pebbles on the bottom. She followed the stream for what felt like an eternity, her feet growing tired and her curiosity growing stronger. Finally, she came to a bridge, its wooden planks weathered by time. She looked up and saw a rainbow arching over the bridge, its colors vibrant and magical. Ella crossed the bridge, her heart pounding. At the other end, she found a small, stone pedestal with a jade key on top of it. She picked up the key, feeling its smooth, cool surface. The map glowed in her hand, and she knew she was close. The final map led her to a clearing at the heart of the Whistling Woods. There, in the center, stood an ancient, stone chest, its surface covered in moss and vines. Ella approached the chest and saw that it had a lock. She inserted the jade key, and the lock clicked open. She lifted the lid with a sense of awe, and inside, she found a small, golden chest. Ella's heart was pounding with anticipation. She opened the golden chest, and a warm, golden light spilled out. Inside were not jewels or gold, but something far more precious, a collection of memories and tokens from her childhood. There was a tiny wooden horse that her father had carved for her, a seashell from her first trip to the beach, and a small, silver locket with a picture of her mother and father inside. But the most special thing was a note at the bottom of the chest. It read, "Dear Ella, you have completed the greatest adventure of all, the journey to find the treasure of love and memories. These are the most valuable things in the world, and they belong to you. Always remember that the true treasure is the love in your heart and the memories that you carry with you. You are brave, strong, and capable of anything. With all my love, your mother." Ella's eyes filled with tears of joy and gratitude. She realized that her mother had created this adventure to teach her a valuable lesson. The treasure was not something material, but something much deeper and more meaningful. Ella packed the memories and tokens into her bag and began the journey back home. As she walked, the forest seemed to come alive with the magic of her discovery. The trees leaned in, as if whispering their congratulations, and the animals chirped and chirped, as if singing a song of praise. When she finally reached her cottage, her mother was waiting at the door, a warm smile on her face. Ella ran to her, her eyes shining with excitement. "Did you find the treasure, my brave explorer?" her mother asked, her eyes twinkling. Ella nodded, her heart full of love. "Yes, I did, and it was the best treasure of all." Her mother hugged her tightly, and Ella felt the warmth of her mother's love envelop her. She knew that no matter where her adventures took her, she would always carry the most precious treasure in her heart. And so, Ella and her mother sat by the fire, sharing the memories and treasures she had found. The evening was filled with laughter, stories, and the magic of a bedtime journey that had come to life. From that night on, Ella knew that every adventure, no matter how small, held the potential for the greatest treasure of all, the love and memories that make life truly special. The end. The tiny traveler's goodnight quest. In a world far removed from the hustle and bustle of the human realm, nestled between the roots of the ancient whispering willow and the shimmering banks of the silver stream, there lived a tiny traveler named Lila. Lila was a pixie, no taller than a daisy and no heavier than a wisp of cloud. Her home was a tiny, intricately woven nest of spider silk and flower petals, perched on the highest branch of the willow. Each night, as the moon rose and the stars twinkled, Lila would embark on a unique adventure, a quest to ensure that every creature in the forest had a peaceful night's sleep. Lila was known throughout the forest for her gentle spirit and her unwavering commitment to her task. She had a small, magical lantern that her grandmother, the wise and ancient pixie, had given her. This lantern, made of translucent moonstone and filled with starlight, could cast a soothing glow that chased away fears and dreams of nightmares. But Lila's quest was not just about casting light. It was about listening, understanding, and offering comfort to those who needed it most. One particularly starry night, Lila awoke to the soft rustling of leaves and the distant, mournful cry of a lone nightingale. She knew immediately that something was amiss. The nightingale's song, usually a melodious lullaby, was now tinged with sadness and despair. Lila swung her legs over the edge of her nest, grabbed her lantern, and took flight, her wings beating a gentle rhythm against the cool night air. As she glided through the forest, the moonlight cast intricate shadows on the ground, and the stars seemed to twinkle in greeting. Lila followed the sound of the nightingale's song, which grew louder as she approached the heart of the forest, a clearing where the oldest and wisest creatures gathered to share their stories and wisdom. Upon reaching the clearing, Lila saw the nightingale perched on a branch, her feathers ruffled and her eyes filled with tears. Lila landed softly beside her and held out her lantern. "What troubles you, dear friend?" she asked, her voice as gentle as a breeze. The nightingale looked at Lila with gratitude in her eyes. "Lila, the forest is changing," she began. "The creatures are restless, and the old trees are whispering of an ancient darkness that threatens to return. I fear that without your help, the forest will not find peace tonight." Lila nodded solemnly, understanding the gravity of the task ahead. She thanked the nightingale for her warning and set off to explore the forest, her lantern casting a comforting glow around her. The first creature she encountered was a tiny mouse named Milo, who was scurrying frantically between the roots of a gnarled oak tree. "Milo, what is wrong?" Lila asked, her eyes filled with concern. Milo stopped and looked up at her, his tiny paws trembling. "The shadows are growing longer, Lila," he said. "I feel as though I'm being watched by something unseen, and it makes me afraid to close my eyes." Lila knelt beside Milo and placed her hand on his back. The light from her lantern seemed to warm the air, and Milo felt a wave of calm wash over him. "You are safe here, Milo," she whispered. "I will chase away the shadows and bring you peace." With her lantern, Lila traced a circle of light around Milo's nest, creating a barrier that the darkness could not penetrate. She sang a soft, lullaby-like tune, and Milo's eyes grew heavy. Within moments, he was asleep, his tiny body relaxed and his breathing steady. Next, Lila flew to the edge of the silver stream, where a family of otters was gathered, their usual playful energy replaced by a tense silence. The mother otter, Luna, looked up as Lila approached. "Lila, the water is whispering secrets," she said. "It speaks of a great calamity that is coming, and my babies are afraid." Lila held her lantern over the water, and the stream seemed to calm, its surface reflecting the starlight in a serene, almost hypnotic pattern. She sang a song of the moon and the stars, and the otters, one by one, began to drift into a peaceful slumber. The nightingale's song, now calmer, drifted over the water, mingling with Lila's lullaby. As Lila continued her quest, she noticed that the forest was indeed different. The air was colder, and the usual sounds of the night, the chirping of crickets, the hooting of owls, were muted. She flew to the base of the ancient whispering willow, where the roots were thick and twisted, and the ground was damp with the night's dew. There, she found a group of rabbits huddled together, their ears flattened against their heads and their eyes wide with fear. The eldest rabbit, Thumper, spoke first. "Lila, the roots are whispering of a dark force that seeks to take root in our forest," he said. "We fear it will grow and consume us all." Lila placed her lantern on the ground and knelt among the rabbits. She took a deep breath and closed her eyes, focusing her mind on the ancient magic that flowed through the forest. When she opened her eyes, they glowed with a soft, silver light. She spoke in a voice that seemed to come from the very heart of the earth. "I will protect you, my friends. No darkness shall consume this forest while I draw breath." Lila's words were powerful, and the rabbits felt a surge of confidence. They snuggled closer together, and Lila's lantern cast a warm, protective light over them. She sang a song of the earth and the roots, and the rabbits, one by one, fell asleep, their fears fading into the background. But Lila knew that her quest was far from over. She flew to the heart of the forest, where the old trees whispered their secrets and the ground was carpeted with moss. There, she found a group of deer, their eyes wide with fear, gathered around a clearing. In the center of the clearing lay a dark, brooding pool, its surface as black as night and as still as death. The deer's leader, a majestic stag named Apollo, turned to Lila. "Lila, the pool is the source of the darkness," he said. "We cannot approach it, for it draws us in like a siren's call. We need your help to keep it at bay." Lila approached the pool, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and determination. She held her lantern high, and the light seemed to dance and flicker, casting a golden hue over the dark waters. She spoke in a clear, strong voice. "I am Lila, the tiny traveler, and I command the darkness to retreat. The light of the moon and the stars will protect this forest, and no evil shall take root here." The pool seemed to shudder, and for a moment, Lila felt a chill run down her spine. But she stood firm, her lantern glowing brighter with each word. The darkness in the pool began to recede, and the water's surface calmed, reflecting the moonlight in a soothing, silvery glow. The deer, sensing the shift, began to relax. Apollo stepped forward and bowed his head. "Thank you, Lila. Your courage and magic have saved us all." Lila nodded, her heart filled with a sense of accomplishment, but she knew that her work was not yet done. She continued her journey, visiting the burrows of groundhogs, the nests of birds, and the dens of foxes. Each creature had a different fear, a different worry, but Lila listened and understood, offering her light and her songs to bring peace and comfort. As the night wore on, the forest began to change. The air grew warmer, and the sounds of the night returned, filling the clearing with a symphony of life. The stars seemed to twinkle more brightly, and the moon cast a gentle, silvery light over the landscape. Finally, as the first light of dawn began to break over the horizon, Lila returned to her nest. She was tired, her wings heavy with the weight of the night, but her heart was light. She had fulfilled her quest, and the forest was at peace. As she settled into her nest, the nightingale's song drifted over the trees, now a joyful melody of gratitude and relief. Lila closed her eyes, the light from her lantern growing dimmer as she drifted into a peaceful sleep, ready to begin her quest anew the following night. And so, every night, Lila, the tiny traveler, would take to the skies, her lantern in hand, ready to chase away the shadows and bring peace to the forest. Her quest was one of love, compassion, and magic, and the creatures of the forest knew that as long as Lila was with them, they would always find their way to a good night's rest. The sleepy astronaut's dreamy flight. In the vast expanse of the cosmos, a small spacecraft known as the Lunar Dreamer glided silently through the void, its engines humming with a gentle, rhythmic cadence. On board, a lone astronaut, Dr. Emily Carter, found herself in a peculiar state of drowsiness. Emily, a seasoned space explorer with a sharp mind and an adventurous spirit, had always been meticulous about her sleep schedule. But the stress of a long mission, the isolation of space, and the sheer excitement of her latest discovery had taken their toll. As she drifted into a deep, dreamy slumber, the Lunar Dreamer continued its journey, unaware of the fantastical odyssey that was about to unfold in Emily's mind. Chapter 1. The Discovery. Emily's mission was part of a groundbreaking project to explore the far side of the moon, region shrouded in mystery and largely unknown to humanity. She had spent months preparing for this moment, studying lunar geology, refining her piloting skills, and undergoing rigorous physical and mental training. The Lunar Dreamer was a marvel of modern technology designed to navigate the treacherous terrain of the moon's dark side and to withstand the harsh conditions of space. A few days before her scheduled landing, Emily had detected a peculiar anomaly on the moon's surface. It was a small, circular crater, about 1 kilometer in diameter, with a shimmering, iridescent glow that seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. Intrigued, she had diverted her course to investigate, and as she approached the crater, her heart raced with a mix of excitement and trepidation. The closer she got, the more the glow intensified, and she could see that the crater was not just a simple impact site, but a gateway to something far more extraordinary. Emily had taken detailed readings and sent them back to Earth, but the data was inconclusive. The readings fluctuated wildly, and the instruments seemed to be malfunctioning. Despite the technical difficulties, Emily was determined to uncover the truth. She had planned to land the Lunar Dreamer near the crater, and conduct a more thorough investigation on foot. But as she prepared for the landing, a wave of fatigue overcame her, and she found herself slipping into a deep sleep, her body and mind exhausted from the long journey and the stress of the unknown. Chapter 2. The dream begins. In her dreams, Emily found herself floating weightlessly above the moon's surface, surrounded by a sea of stars. The sky was a tapestry of celestial wonders, and the moon beneath her was a landscape of craters, mountains, and vast, barren plains. But the dream was different from any she had experienced before. The stars seemed to whisper to her, and the moon itself appeared to be alive, pulsing with a gentle, rhythmic energy that seemed to resonate with her own heartbeat. As she drifted closer to the shimmering crater, Emily felt a sense of wonder and awe. The crater was no longer just a physical feature on the moon's surface, but a portal to another dimension. The iridescent glow was now a vibrant, ethereal light that seemed to draw her in, inviting her to explore the mysteries that lay beyond. Without hesitation, Emily descended into the crater. The light grew brighter, and the air around her seemed to vibrate with a strange, harmonious sound. She felt a warm, comforting presence, as if the crater itself was guiding her. Suddenly, the world around her shifted, and she found herself in a lush, verdant landscape that was completely at odds with the barren, desolate moon. Chapter 3. The Celestial Garden. The new environment was a stark contrast to the sterile, metallic interior of the lunar dreamer. Emily stood in a vast, emerald-green meadow, surrounded by tall, flowering trees with leaves that shimmered like stars. The air was filled with the sweet scent of exotic flowers, and the ground was soft and springy under her feet. In the distance, she could see a shimmering lake, its surface reflecting the colors of the rainbow. Emily walked toward the lake, her steps light and graceful. As she approached, she noticed that the water was not just a simple reflection of the sky, but a living, breathing entity. The surface rippled and swirled, forming intricate patterns that seemed to tell a story. She reached out to touch the water, and as her fingers made contact, the patterns shifted, revealing a vision of a distant, ancient civilization. The vision was fleeting, but it left Emily with a sense of profound connection to the universe. She realized that the crater was not just a gateway to another dimension, but a portal to the collective consciousness of the cosmos. The moon, it seemed, was a place where the boundaries between reality and imagination blurred, and the secrets of the universe were hidden in plain sight. Chapter 4. The Guardian of the Crater. As Emily explored the celestial garden, she heard a gentle, melodic voice calling to her. The voice was both ancient and familiar, and it spoke of the secrets that lay within the crater. Emily followed the sound, and soon she found herself standing before a figure that seemed to be composed of light and shadow. The figure was tall and ethereal, with eyes that glowed like the stars themselves. "Welcome, Dr. Emily Carter," the figure said, its voice echoing through the garden. "I am the guardian of the crater, and I have been waiting for you. You have been chosen to witness the wonders that lie beyond the veil of reality." Emily was taken aback by the guardian's words. "Chosen? Why me?" she asked, her voice tinged with a mix of curiosity and skepticism. "You possess a rare combination of courage, intellect, and an open heart," the guardian replied. "You are one of the few who can understand the true nature of the universe. The secrets of the cosmos are not meant to be hidden from those who seek them with pure intentions." The guardian gestured to a path that led deeper into the garden, and Emily followed, her curiosity guiding her every step. The path wound through the meadow, past the shimmering lake, and into a dense forest where the trees seemed to whisper secrets in an ancient, forgotten language. Emily felt as though she was walking through a storybook, each step revealing a new and wondrous scene. Chapter 5. The Forest of Whispers. The forest was a place of magic and mystery. The trees were tall and ancient, their branches stretching toward the sky, and their leaves shimmering with a metallic sheen. The air was thick with the scent of ozone and the sound of distant, ethereal music. Emily could feel the energy of the forest, a living, breathing entity that seemed to be aware of her presence. As she walked, she noticed that the trees were not just ordinary plants but living archives of the universe's knowledge. The leaves fluttered in the wind, and each one seemed to contain a story, a piece of history, or a scientific truth. Emily reached out to touch one of the leaves, and as her fingers brushed against it, she felt a surge of information flooding into her mind. She saw visions of distant galaxies, black holes, and the birth of stars. She felt the weight of time and the vastness of space. The knowledge was overwhelming, but it also brought a sense of clarity and purpose. Emily realized that she was not just an explorer of the physical world, but a seeker of the cosmic truth. The guardian appeared beside her, its presence both comforting and awe-inspiring. The Forest of Whispers is a place where the universe shares its secrets, the guardian explained. Each leaf holds a piece of the cosmic puzzle, and you have the key to unlock it. But remember, knowledge is a gift, and with it comes great responsibility. Emily nodded, her mind racing with the new information. She felt a deep sense of gratitude for the opportunity to learn, but she also knew that the knowledge she had gained was not meant to be kept secret. She was determined to share her discoveries with the world, to inspire others to seek the truth and to understand the interconnectedness of all things. Chapter 6. The Celestial Library. The path continued, leading Emily to a clearing where a grand, majestic library stood. The library was unlike any she had ever seen. It was built of translucent, crystalline material that shimmered in the light, and its door was a massive, ornate archway that seemed to be carved from the very fabric of the universe. As she approached the library, the door opened of its own accord, and Emily stepped inside. The interior was vast and infinite, with rows upon rows of books and scrolls that glowed with an inner light. The books were not bound by physical pages, but were made of pure energy, each one containing the knowledge of a different aspect of the universe. Emily walked through the aisles, her fingers trailing over the glowing books. She felt a deep connection to each one, as if they were calling to her, urging her to open them and reveal their secrets. She selected a book and opened it, and the energy within pulsed and swirled, forming a holographic display that showed the evolution of the universe from the Big Bang to the present day. The guardian appeared beside her once again. This is the Celestial Library, a repository of all the knowledge that has ever existed and all the knowledge that will ever exist. You are the first human to enter this place, and the universe has chosen you to be its voice. What you learn here is not just for you, but for all of humanity. Emily felt a sense of humility and responsibility. She knew that the knowledge she was gaining was a precious gift, and she vowed to use it wisely. She spent hours in the library, absorbing the wisdom of the cosmos, and each book she opened revealed a new piece of the universe's story. Chapter 7. The Cosmic Symphony. As Emily left the library, she found herself standing in a vast, open space where the stars themselves seemed to be performing a symphony. The stars moved in perfect harmony, their light and energy creating a mesmerizing dance that filled the air with a gentle, melodic sound. Emily felt as though she was part of the symphony, a single note in the grand cosmic melody. The guardian appeared beside her, its eyes glinting with a deep, cosmic wisdom. The cosmic symphony is the heartbeat of the universe, the guardian explained. It is the rhythm that governs the movement of the stars, the rotation of the planets, and the flow of time itself. You are a part of this symphony, Dr. Carter, and your mission is to help humanity find its own rhythm and harmony. Emily closed her eyes and let the music wash over her. She felt a deep sense of peace and unity, as if all the pieces of her life were coming together in a beautiful, coherent whole. The symphony was a reminder that, no matter how vast and complex the universe might be, there was a fundamental order and beauty that connected everything. Chapter 8. The Return to Reality. As the symphony reached its crescendo, Emily felt a tug pulling her back to the lunar dreamer. She opened her eyes and found herself floating above the moon's surface, the crater below her a beacon of light and knowledge. The dream had been so vivid and real that she was momentarily disoriented, but as she oriented herself, she realized that the experience had left a profound mark on her. The lunar dreamer was still in orbit, its instruments now functioning perfectly. Emily checked her readings and was astonished to find that the crater was no longer just a simple anomaly but a source of immense energy. The readings were now consistent, and the data was rich with new information about the moon's structure and the potential for future discoveries. Emily felt a surge of excitement, and determination. She knew that the knowledge she had gained in her dream was real, and she was eager to share it with her colleagues on Earth. She prepared the lunar dreamer for landing, her hands steady and her mind clear. As she descended toward the crater, she felt a sense of purpose and destiny. Chapter 9. The Awakening. When Emily landed the lunar dreamer near the crater, she was met with a team of robotic explorers that had been programmed to assist her. She climbed out of the spacecraft, her eyes drawn to the shimmering crater. The light was even more intense in the waking world, and she felt a connection to it that went beyond the physical. She approached the crater, her heart pounding with a mix of excitement and reverence. As she stood at the edge, the light pulsed, and for a moment, she felt as though she was back in the celestial garden, surrounded by the whispers of the universe. But this time, she knew that she was not just a dreamer but a real explorer, tasked with unraveling the mysteries of the cosmos. Emily collected samples from the crater, her movements precise and deliberate. She knew that these samples would hold the key to understanding the energy she had detected and the secrets of the universe that had been revealed to her. She returned to the lunar dreamer and prepared to send the data back to Earth. Chapter 10. The Revelation. When the data reached Earth, it caused a sensation in the scientific community. The readings from the crater were unlike anything that had been seen before, and the samples contained elements that were previously unknown to science. The information from the lunar dreamer led to a series of breakthroughs in physics, astronomy, and even philosophy. Emily's dreamy flight had not only provided a new perspective on the moon, but had also opened a window into the deeper mysteries of the universe. Her discoveries were celebrated, and she became a beacon of inspiration for a new generation of explorers and scientists. But for Emily, the true revelation was not just the scientific data, but the spiritual insight she had gained. She had learned that the universe was a place of infinite wonder, and that the connection between all things was not just a metaphor but a tangible truth. She knew that her mission was far from over, and that the universe had many more secrets waiting to be uncovered. Chapter 11. The Legacy. Years passed, and Emily's discoveries led to a new era of space exploration. The crater on the moon became a site of pilgrimage for scientists and philosophers alike, and the lunar dreamer was retired, its legacy secured in the annals of history. Emily continued her work, always seeking to understand the deeper truths of the universe and to share her knowledge with the world. She wrote a series of books and gave lectures that inspired millions. Her story of the sleepy astronaut's dreamy flight became a legend, a reminder that even in the most challenging and isolating of circumstances, the universe has a way of revealing its wonders to those who are open to them. Emily's dreamy flight had not only changed her life, but had also changed the way humanity viewed the cosmos. The dream had been real, and the lessons it had taught her were timeless. As she looked up at the night sky, she felt a deep sense of gratitude and a renewed sense of purpose. The universe was vast, but it was also a place of infinite possibility, and Emily was determined to be a part of its ongoing story. Epilogue. In the quiet of her study, years after her return from the moon, Emily sat at her desk, surrounded by the books and notes that she had accumulated over her career. She looked at the photograph of the lunar dreamer hanging on the wall, a reminder of the journey she had taken and the dreams that had shaped her life. She smiled, knowing that the universe was still full of mysteries waiting to be discovered. And as she closed her eyes, she could hear the echoes of the cosmic symphony, a gentle reminder that the universe was always there, guiding her and offering its infinite wisdom. The sleepy astronaut's dreamy flight was more than just a story of exploration. It was a testament to the power of dreams and the beauty of the unknown. Emily had learned that the greatest discoveries often come when we least expect them, and that the universe is always ready to share its secrets with those who are willing to listen. And so, the legend of the sleepy astronaut lived on, a beacon of hope and inspiration for all those who dared to dream and to explore the mysteries of the cosmos. Theo's train to dreamland. In the quaint, cobblestone village of Larkwood, where the air was always filled with the sweet scent of blooming lavender and the sound of distant church bells, there lived a young boy named Theo. Theo was a curious soul, with eyes as bright as the stars and a heart as pure as the morning dew. He spent his days exploring the lush forests and rolling hills that surrounded his village, always on the lookout for new adventures and hidden wonders. Yet, despite his active and imaginative life, Theo had a secret longing, a yearning for a place where his dreams could come to life, a realm where the impossible was possible and where every wish was granted. Theo's father, Mr. Elliot, was the village's blacksmith, a man with hands as strong and capable as the iron he shaped. His mother, Mrs. Alara, was a gentle soul who tended to the village's garden, her fingers always coated in the rich, dark soil that gave life to the flowers and herbs she tended. Theo's parents were kind and loving, and they encouraged his sense of wonder and exploration, but they couldn't help him reach the dreamland he so desperately sought. Every night, as Theo lay in his bed, the moon would cast a silvery glow through his window, and he would close his eyes, hoping to catch a glimpse of the magical world he had only ever heard about in the stories his grandmother used to tell. But no matter how hard he tried, the dreamland remained just out of reach, a tantalizing fantasy that eluded him. One crisp autumn evening, as Theo was returning from a day of adventuring, he stumbled upon a hidden path in the forest. The path was lined with ancient, gnarled trees, their leaves a kaleidoscope of reds, oranges, and golds. Theo's curiosity was piqued, and he decided to follow the path, despite the growing darkness. As he walked, the path seemed to widen, and the trees began to take on a peculiar, almost whimsical shape. The branches curled and twisted in ways that defied nature, and the leaves shimmered with a mystical light. After what felt like hours, Theo reached the end of the path. To his amazement, he found himself standing at the edge of a clearing. In the center of the clearing, illuminated by a soft, golden light, stood a magnificent train station. The station was unlike any Theo had ever seen. It was made of polished mahogany and gleaming brass, with intricate carvings of mythical creatures and fantastical landscapes. The sign above the entrance read, "Dreamland Express." As Theo approached the station, he noticed that the platform was empty. No one was around, and the only sound was the gentle rustling of the leaves in the breeze. But then, a low, melodious whistle echoed through the forest, and Theo felt his heart leap with excitement. The train was coming. Moments later, a stunning locomotive rolled into the station. The train was a marvel of engineering, with shimmering, iridescent paint that shifted colors as it moved. The wheels sparkled like diamonds, and the smokestack billowed out a cloud of rainbow mist. Theo could hardly believe his eyes. He hesitated for a moment, wondering if this was all just a dream. But the train's presence was too real, too tangible to be anything but true. A conductor stepped off the train. He was a tall, elegant figure with a silver beard and a warm, inviting smile. His uniform was a deep, royal blue, adorned with gold trim and a single, gleaming star on his chest. He looked at Theo with a knowing gleam in his eyes and said, "Welcome, Theo. I've been expecting you. Are you ready for a journey to Dreamland?" Theo's heart raced. He had never been more ready for anything in his life. "Yes, sir," he replied, his voice trembling with anticipation. The conductor nodded, gesturing for Theo to step aboard. "Hop on, young traveler. The Dreamland Express is about to depart." Theo climbed onto the train, and the conductor followed, closing the door behind him. The interior of the train was even more enchanting than its exterior. The seats were plush, covered in velvet, and the windows were framed with delicate, lace-like patterns. Theo felt a sense of warmth and comfort wash over him as he took his seat. The conductor appeared beside him, handing him a small, intricately designed ticket. "Keep this close," the conductor said, his voice as soothing as a lullaby. "It's the key to your dreams." The train began to move, and Theo pressed his face against the window, watching the forest blur into a kaleidoscope of colors. As the train picked up speed, the world outside transformed. The trees became taller, their leaves morphing into shimmering, translucent petals that glowed in the moonlight. The ground beneath the train turned into a tapestry of living, breathing flowers, and the sky above was a canopy of twinkling stars. Theo felt a sense of wonder and amazement as he realized that he was indeed traveling to Dreamland. The conductor approached him again, sitting down beside him. "Where would you like to go, Theo? Dreamland is vast and filled with endless possibilities. What is your heart's desire?" Theo thought for a moment, his mind racing with all the places and adventures he could imagine. "I want to see the place where the stars are born," he said finally, his voice filled with a mix of awe and excitement. The conductor smiled, a look of approval in his eyes. "A noble choice indeed. Hold on tight and let the journey begin." The train sped faster, and Theo could feel the wind rushing through his hair. The landscape outside the window changed again, this time into a vast, starlit sky. The train was no longer on tracks but was floating through the heavens, surrounded by a sea of glittering, twinkling stars. Theo watched in amazery as the stars began to dance and swirl around the train, creating intricate patterns and shapes. As they approached the heart of the star field, Theo saw a magnificent, glowing portal. It pulsed with a vibrant, blue light, and as the train drew closer, the portal opened, revealing a breathtaking sight. Inside the portal was a realm of pure, unadulterated light. Theo could see stars being born, emerging from the cosmic ether in a display of dazzling beauty. The stars were like tiny, luminous beings, each unique and filled with a life of its own. The train entered the realm of star birth, and Theo felt a profound sense of peace and wonder. He could hear the stars singing, a harmonious melody that seemed to resonate with the very essence of the universe. The conductor leaned over, pointing to a particular cluster of stars. "Those are the stars of your dreams, Theo. They are the ones that guide you, that light your path in the darkness. They are the stars of hope, of imagination, and of endless possibility." Theo nodded, feeling a deep connection to the stars. He knew that he had found something precious, something that would stay with him forever. But the journey wasn't over yet. The conductor stood up, his eyes twinkling with excitement. "There is one more place I want to show you, Theo. A place where your dreams can truly come to life." The train continued its journey, leaving the realm of star birth and entering a new, fantastical landscape. The world outside the window was a blend of reality and imagination. Theo saw majestic dragons soaring through the sky, their scales shimmering like polished gemstones. He saw unicorns grazing in meadows of silver grass and fairies flitting among the flowers, their wings leaving trails of glittering dust. The train slowed to a halt, and the conductor announced, "We have arrived at the heart of Dreamland, Theo. Step outside and explore. This is your world, your imagination made real." Theo stepped off the train, and the moment his feet touched the ground, he felt a surge of energy. The air was filled with the scent of cinnamon and vanilla, and the ground beneath him was soft and warm, like a cloud. He looked around, and the sight that greeted him was beyond anything he had ever imagined. He was standing in a vast, open plain, surrounded by towering, crystal-clear mountains. The sky above was a gradient of soft, pastel colors, and the sun was a brilliant, golden orb that seemed to dance across the sky. In the distance, he could see a magnificent castle, its spires reaching toward the heavens, and a sparkling, blue lake that reflected the entire world like a mirror. Theo didn't know where to begin, but he felt a pull toward the lake. As he approached, he saw that the water was not just blue but contained all the colors of the rainbow. The lake was alive, and as Theo reached out to touch the water, it rippled and formed a perfect image of his reflection. But the reflection was different. It was older, wiser, and more confident. A voice echoed from the lake, a voice that seemed to come from within Theo himself. "Welcome, Theo. This is the lake of reflection. It shows you what you can become, the person you are meant to be. Look deep, and you will see the path that lies ahead." Theo gazed into the lake, and as he did, he saw a series of visions. He saw himself as a brave knight, battling a dragon to save a village. He saw himself as a great inventor, creating machines that could harness the power of the stars. He saw himself as a wise sage, guiding others through their own dreams and challenges. Each vision was more beautiful and inspiring than the last, and Theo felt a sense of purpose and determination growing within him. When the visions faded, Theo turned to the conductor, who was standing beside him, a serene smile on his face. "Thank you," Theo said, his voice filled with gratitude. "I've seen things I never thought possible, and I feel like I can do anything." The conductor nodded. "You can, Theo, but remember, The power to make your dreams come true lies within you. The train can take you to dreamland, but it is your own heart and mind that will bring your dreams to life. Theo nodded, understanding the wisdom in the conductor's words. He realized that dreamland was not just a place but a state of mind, a realm where his imagination could flourish and his dreams could take shape. He felt a deep sense of peace and joy, knowing that he could return to this place whenever he needed to find inspiration or guidance. As the train prepared to depart, Theo turned to the conductor one last time. "Will I see you again?" The conductor's smile widened. "Whenever you need to return to dreamland, Theo, just close your eyes and think of your heart's desire, and the train will come for you." Theo climbed back onto the train, and as it began to move, he felt a sense of bittersweet farewell. He knew that the journey was not over, but just beginning. The train took him back through the starlit sky, the dancing stars, and the enchanted forest, until he found himself back at the hidden path. The train slowed to a stop, and the conductor opened the door. "Remember, Theo, dreamland is always with you. It's a part of who you are." Theo stepped off the train, and the conductor waved one last time before the locomotive disappeared into the darkness. Theo stood for a moment, taking in the beauty of the forest and the peace of the evening. He knew that he had been changed by his journey, that he had seen the true potential of his own imagination. Theo returned home, his heart filled with joy and his mind brimming with new ideas. He told his parents about his incredible journey, and though they smiled and listened, they didn't fully understand. But that was okay. Theo knew that the experience was his, a secret he would carry with him always. From that night on, Theo's life was different. He approached every challenge with a newfound sense of courage and creativity. He began to write stories and create art, inspired by the wonders he had seen in dreamland. His parents noticed the change in him, and they were proud of the way he grew and flourished. Years passed, and Theo became a renowned author and artist, known for his ability to capture the magic of imagination in his work. But no matter how successful he became, he never forgot the night he rode the Dreamland Express. Whenever he felt lost or in need of inspiration, he would close his eyes and think of the conductor's words, and the train would come for him once more, taking him back to the realm of his dreams. Theo's journey to Dreamland was the beginning of a lifelong adventure, a reminder that even in the most ordinary of places, the extraordinary could be found. And so, the boy who once longed to reach the stars found that the stars had always been within him, guiding him on a path of endless possibility. In the village of Larkwood, Theo's story became a legend, a tale that inspired generations to follow their dreams and to believe in the magic of their own imaginations. And every now and then, on a crisp autumn evening, a curious child would find the hidden path in the forest and step aboard the Dreamland Express, beginning their own journey to a world of wonders and dreams. The Goodnight Pirate's Lullaby. In a distant corner of the vast, uncharted ocean, where the horizon seemed to merge with the sky in a perpetual dance of twilight, there lay a hidden island known only to a few. The island, shrouded in mist and mystery, was home to the legendary Captain Jasper Flint, the most feared and respected pirate of the seven seas. But Captain Flint was not just a marauder and a plunderer. He was also a father, and every night, he would return to his hidden cove to sing a lullaby to his daughter, little Eliza. Eliza was a curious and spirited child, with eyes as deep and blue as the ocean itself. Her mother, the lovely and brave captain's first mate, Amelia, had passed away when Eliza was just a baby, leaving Captain Flint to raise her alone. Despite his rugged exterior and the countless battles he had fought, Captain Flint was a tender and devoted father. He had promised Amelia that he would keep their daughter safe and teach her the ways of the sea, but most importantly, he would fill her nights with love and melodies. The cove where they lived was a secret haven, a place of peace and tranquility that stood in stark contrast to the chaos and danger of the open waters. The island was lush and green, its beaches lined with white sand and its forests teeming with exotic wildlife. At the heart of the island was a small, cozy cabin, built from the wood of fallen trees and adorned with colorful seashells and driftwood. This was the home where Eliza and her father lived, a place where the outside world seemed far away. Every evening, As the sun dipped below the horizon and the stars began to twinkle in the sky, Captain Flint would set aside his pirate duties and gather Eliza in his arms. They would sit on the porch of their cabin, overlooking the calm, moonlit sea, and he would begin to sing the lullaby that had been passed down through generations of sailors. The melody was soft and soothing, a blend of ancient sea shanties and gentle lullabies, designed to calm the wildest of storms and the most restless of souls. Eliza would listen intently, her head resting on her father's shoulder, her eyes wide with wonder. She loved the songs her father sang, but she loved even more the stories he told within them. Each lullaby was a tale of adventure and magic, of daring escapes and hidden treasures, of loyal friends and treacherous foes. The stories were a window into a world beyond the island, a world that Eliza longed to explore. One of the most cherished stories was about the Goodnight Pirate, a mysterious figure who roamed the seas, not to steal or to conquer, but to bring peace and comfort to the sailors who braved the night. According to the legend, the Goodnight Pirate would sail his ship, the Mystic Mariner, across the dark waters, singing a lullaby that could calm the fiercest of storms and lull the most troubled of sailors into a deep and peaceful sleep. Some said that the Goodnight Pirate was a guardian angel, sent by the sea itself to protect those who dared to venture into its depths. Others believed he was a long-forgotten king, cursed to wander the ocean for eternity, singing his lullaby to soothe the souls of the lost. Captain Flint's favorite version of the story was the one where the Goodnight Pirate was a former pirate, much like himself, who had found redemption through his music. This pirate had once been a ruthless and feared captain, but one fateful night, he had heard the cries of a baby on a sinking ship. Despite the dangers, he had risked his life to save the child, and in that moment, he had felt a change in his heart. From that night on, he had dedicated his life to helping others, and his lullaby had become a symbol of hope and solace for all who sailed the seas. Eliza would often ask her father if he had ever met the Goodnight Pirate. Captain Flint would smile and say, "Who knows? Maybe one day you will meet him yourself." He would then continue to sing, his voice a blend of strength and tenderness, weaving the lullaby into the fabric of the night. As Eliza grew older, she became more and more fascinated by the tales of the Goodnight Pirate. She would spend hours by the shore, gazing out at the vast ocean, dreaming of the day she might catch a glimpse of the Mystic Mariner and hear the lullaby for herself. Her father, noticing her growing curiosity, decided to take her on a journey to explore the nearby islands and learn more about the world beyond their hidden cove. The first island they visited was a bustling port, where ships of all sizes and colors filled the harbor. Eliza was amazed by the sights and sounds, the smell of salt and fish, and the endless variety of people and animals. Captain Flint introduced her to some of his old crew members who shared their own stories of the Goodnight Pirate. One old sailor with a long, weathered face and a gleam in his eye told Eliza that the Goodnight Pirate had saved his ship from a terrible storm many years ago. Another, a young woman with a mischievous smile, said that the Goodnight Pirate had once given her a magical seashell that granted her a safe passage through the roughest of waters. Eliza listened to these stories with rapt attention, her mind filled with images of the Goodnight Pirate and his ship. She asked her father if they could sail to the farthest reaches of the ocean, where the Goodnight Pirate was said to reside. Captain Flint, seeing the determination in his daughter's eyes, agreed to take her on a longer journey, one that would test their skills and their courage. They set sail under the cover of night, the Mystic Mariner gliding smoothly over the calm waters. The sky was a canvas of stars, and the moon cast a silver glow over the deck. Eliza and her father worked together, navigating the ship with the help of the stars and the wind. As they sailed deeper into the unknown, the air grew cooler, and the waters turned a deep, mysterious blue. Days turned into weeks, and Eliza's excitement grew with each passing night. She would stay awake, peering into the darkness, hoping to catch a glimpse of the Goodnight Pirate's ship. Her father, sensing her restlessness, would sit with her on the deck and sing the lullaby, his voice a comforting presence in the vast, silent night. One stormy evening, as the winds grew fierce and the waves crashed against the ship, Eliza was particularly frightened. She clung to her father, her eyes wide with fear. Captain Flint, holding her close, began to sing the lullaby with a newfound intensity. The words, so familiar and yet so powerful, seemed to weave a protective spell around them, calming the storm with each note. Suddenly, as the storm began to subside, a soft light appeared on the horizon. It was a ship, unlike any Eliza had ever seen before. The Mystic Mariner was a ghostly vessel, its sails shimmering with a gentle, ethereal glow. The ship seemed to move without wind, gliding gracefully over the waves. Eliza's heart pounded in her chest as she watched the ship approach. Captain Flint, sensing the presence of the Goodnight pirate, stood up and began to sing the lullaby again, his voice mingling with the wind. The Mystic Mariner drew closer, and Eliza could see a figure standing at the helm, his face hidden by a shadow. The figure raised his hand in greeting, and Eliza's father responded in kind. The Goodnight pirate then began to sing, his voice a haunting and beautiful melody that seemed to come from the very depths of the ocean. The lullaby was unlike any Eliza had heard before, a symphony of the sea's heartbeat and the wind's whisper. As the pirate's voice filled the air, the storm completely disappeared, and the night became calm and serene. The Goodnight pirate spoke, his voice deep and resonant. "Welcome, brave Captain Flint and your young companion, Eliza. I have watched over you from afar, for I knew that you would one day seek me out. Your lullaby has brought peace to many, and your daughter's spirit is as bright as the stars above." Captain Flint bowed his head in respect. "We are honored, Goodnight pirate. My daughter has always been fascinated by your tales. She dreams of the day she might hear your lullaby herself." The Goodnight pirate smiled, his face finally becoming visible in the moonlight. He had kind, wise eyes and a beard that seemed to have threads of silver woven through it. "Then let her hear it now. For you, Eliza, I will sing the lullaby that has guided sailors for generations." Eliza, her heart filled with awe and gratitude, sat down on the deck, her eyes never leaving the Goodnight pirate. He began to sing, his voice a blend of the ocean's song and the wind's whisper. The words were simple, yet they carried the weight of centuries. "Ahoy, little one. It's time to sleep. The waves are still, and the sea is deep. Close your eyes, let your worries go. The Goodnight pirate will keep you safe, you know. Dream of treasure, hidden and rare. Dream of islands where the mermaids care. The night is long, but the morning will come, and when you awake, you'll be the bravest one. Let the stars guide you through the dark. Let the moonlight be your stark. The Goodnight pirate will watch over all, and you will be safe, no matter how small." As the Goodnight pirate's lullaby washed over her, Eliza felt a sense of peace and belonging that she had never experienced before. The storm had left no trace, and the sea was as calm as a mirror. She closed her eyes, and the lullaby carried her into a world of dreams, where she sailed the oceans with her father, the Goodnight pirate, and the stars above. When Eliza awoke the next morning, the Mystic Mariner was gone, leaving only a gentle breeze and the memory of the lullaby. She looked at her father, who was smiling down at her, his eyes filled with pride and love. "You heard it, didn't you?" he asked, his voice filled with wonder. Eliza nodded, her eyes brimming with tears. "I did, father. The Goodnight pirate sang to me, and I felt so safe and happy. I want to be like him one day, to bring peace and comfort to others." Captain Flint hugged her tightly, his heart swelling with pride. "You already are, my dear. You have a kind heart and a brave spirit. One day, you will share your lullaby with the world, just like the Goodnight pirate." From that day on, Eliza's dreams were filled with the Goodnight pirate's lullaby, and she knew that no matter where her adventures took her, she would always carry the song in her heart. As the years passed, she grew into a strong and capable sailor, much like her father, and together, they continued to explore the vast, uncharted ocean, spreading their own brand of hope and comfort. And so, the legend of the Goodnight pirate lived on, not just in the tales of sailors and the hearts of the lost, but in the spirit of a brave little girl who had found her true calling in the most unexpected of places. The lullaby, once a simple melody, had become a beacon of light, a reminder that even in the darkest of nights, there is always a way to find peace and comfort. As the years turned into decades and Eliza became a captain in her own right, she would sing the Goodnight Pirate's lullaby to her own daughter, passing on the legacy of love and hope that had been handed down through the generations. And in the hearts of those who heard her sing, the Goodnight Pirate's lullaby would continue to be a source of strength and solace, a reminder that the sea, with all its mysteries and dangers, could also be a place of beauty and wonder. The Little Explorer's Jungle Nap. In the heart of the verdant Amazon, where the canopy stretched endlessly into the sky and the air was thick with the scent of blooming orchids and the distant calls of exotic birds, there lived a little girl named Lila. Lila was a curious and adventurous soul, with fiery red hair that cascaded in wild curls down her back and eyes as bright as the morning sun. She lived in a small, rustic village nestled along the banks of the mighty Amazon River, where the elders often shared tales of the ancient jungle and its secrets. Lila's father, a renowned explorer, had vanished on one of his quests years ago, leaving behind a legacy of maps, journals, and an unquenchable thirst for discovery. Lila spent her days poring over these relics, dreaming of the day she would follow in her father's footsteps and unveil the mysteries of the rainforest. Her mother, though worried, encouraged her daughter's passion, believing that the jungle had a way of revealing its treasures to those who approached it with respect and wonder. One sunny morning, Lila woke up with an irresistible urge to explore a part of the jungle she had never visited before. She packed a small backpack with her father's old compass, a notebook, a pencil, and a bottle of water. Waving goodbye to her mother, she set off into the dense foliage, her heart pounding with excitement. The jungle was a symphony of sounds and sights. The rustling of leaves, the chirping of insects, and the occasional screech of a macaw filled the air. Lila moved carefully, her eyes scanning the ground for any signs of danger. She passed by towering trees with roots as thick as her arms, their bark covered in a tapestry of moss and ferns. The forest floor was a mosaic of vibrant colors, from the deep green of the leaves to the bright red of the bloodroot flowers. As she ventured deeper, the sunlight began to filter through the dense canopy, casting dappled shadows on the ground. Lila followed a narrow path that wound around a massive kapok tree, its trunk so wide that she could barely wrap her arms around it. The tree was alive with the chatter of monkeys and the flutter of butterflies, their wings a kaleidoscope of patterns and hues. Suddenly, Lila heard a gentle, melodic humming. She followed the sound, her steps slowing as she approached a clearing. In the center of the clearing, she found a small, secluded glade. The ground was soft with a carpet of moss, and a gentle stream trickled through the middle, its water clear and cool. Sunlight streamed through the leaves, creating a serene and magical atmosphere. Lila's eyes widened in wonder. She had never seen such a beautiful place. The humming grew louder, and she realized it was coming from a cluster of flowering vines that hung from the branches of a nearby tree. The flowers were a deep purple, and their centers glowed with a soft, golden light. Lila reached out to touch one, and as her fingers brushed against the petals, a warm, soothing sensation spread through her body. She decided to take a rest in this enchanting spot. Lila found a comfortable patch of moss and lay down, her backpack serving as a pillow. The gentle hum of the flowers and the rustling of the leaves quickly lulled her into a deep, dreamless sleep. Hours passed, and the sun began to set, casting a golden hue across the jungle. In the glade, the flowers glowed more brightly, and a soft, blue mist began to rise from the ground. The mist swirled around Lila, enveloping her in a cool, refreshing embrace. She stirred slightly in her sleep, a smile spreading across her face. In her dreams, Lila found herself in a world where the jungle came to life. She was walking through a lush forest, but this time, the trees whispered to her, their voices gentle and welcoming. The animals, too, seemed to recognize her, bowing their heads in respect as she passed by. A wise old jaguar appeared beside her, its eyes gleaming with intelligence. The jaguar spoke to her in a soft, melodic voice, telling her stories of the jungle's ancient past and the secrets it held. The jaguar led Lila to a hidden cave, its entrance concealed by a curtain of vines. As they entered, The cave walls shimmered with bioluminescent fungi, casting a soft, green light. Inside, Lila discovered a crystal-clear pool of water, its surface reflecting the glowing walls. The jaguar explained that this was the Well of Wonders, a place where the spirits of the jungle would share their wisdom with those who were pure of heart. Lila kneeled by the pool, and as she touched the water, visions began to dance before her eyes. She saw her father, alive and well, standing at the edge of a cliff overlooking a vast, unexplored valley. He turned to her and smiled, his eyes filled with pride. "Follow your heart, Lila," he said, his voice echoing through the cave. "The jungle will always be your guide." The visions faded, and the jaguar nuzzled her gently. "Remember, little one," it said, "the jungle is a living entity, and it will protect you if you respect it. Always be mindful of the balance between nature and humanity." Lila woke up with a start, the sun now setting behind the trees. She felt rejuvenated and filled with a newfound sense of purpose. The glade looked even more magical in the twilight, the blue mist now a soft, ethereal glow. Lila stood up, her heart racing with excitement. She knew she had to share what she had learned with her village. As she made her way back to the village, Lila felt a deep connection to the jungle. She no longer saw it as just a place to explore, but as a living, breathing world that deserved respect and protection. When she arrived home, her mother was waiting anxiously at the door. Lila's face was lit with a radiant smile, and she recounted her amazing adventure and the wisdom she had gained. The villagers gathered around, listening intently to Lila's tale. They were amazed by the Well of Wonders and the jaguar's guidance. The elders nodded in approval, recognizing the importance of Lila's experience. They decided to form a council to protect the jungle and ensure that future generations could enjoy its beauty and learn from its secrets. Lila's journey had not only changed her, but had also inspired her community. She continued to explore the jungle, always with a deep sense of reverence and respect. And though she never found her father, she felt his presence in the wind, the water, and the whispers of the trees. The jungle had become her greatest teacher, and she was determined to be its most dedicated guardian. Years later, Lila grew into a wise and respected explorer, known far and wide for her knowledge of the rainforest and her commitment to preserving its natural wonders. The glade where she had taken her nap remained her favorite spot, a place where she could always find peace and inspiration. And whenever she visited, the flowers would glow a little brighter, and the blue mist would rise, reminding her of the magical day when the jungle had gifted her with a nap that changed her life forever. The Sleepy Submarine's deep dive. In the heart of the vast, uncharted Pacific Ocean, where the waters were as deep and dark as the night sky, there lay a hidden domain of mystery and wonder. It was here that the most peculiar vessel in the world, the Sleepy Submarine, lay dormant, nestled in a secluded cove beneath a canopy of kelp. The Sleepy Submarine was no ordinary underwater craft. It was an ancient, sentient vessel, rumored to have been built by a long-lost civilization that had harnessed the secrets of the deep. The submarine was known for its ability to sleep, to dream, and to navigate the ocean's depths with a wisdom that surpassed that of any human navigator. The Sleepy Submarine had been left undisturbed for centuries, its metallic hull encrusted with barnacles and its portholes clouded with algae. But on a fateful morning, a gentle current stirred the seaweed and a faint, ethereal light began to glow from within the vessel. The submarine's dreamlike state had been interrupted by a call, a whisper from the ocean's depths, beckoning it to awaken and embark on a journey that would be both a test of its ancient abilities and a revelation of the secrets it had kept hidden for so long. The crew assembles. The first to heed the call was Captain Alara Quinn, a seasoned maritime explorer with a heart full of curiosity and a mind full of maps. Alara was a woman of few words, but when she spoke, her voice carried the weight of the ocean itself. She had spent her life chasing the legends of the sea, from the lost city of Atlantis to the mysterious Mariana Trench. When she learned of the Sleepy Submarine and its unique properties, she knew she had found her most challenging and rewarding quest yet. Alara's first stop was the bustling port city of San Francisco, where she sought out the best and the brightest to join her on this extraordinary journey. Among those she recruited was Dr. Theo Harlow, a marine biologist with a reputation for pushing the boundaries of science. Theo was a man of contradictions. His appearance was that of a disheveled professor, yet his mind was as sharp as a surgeon's scalpel. He had spent years studying the bioluminescent creatures of the deep, and his knowledge would be invaluable in navigating the unknown. Next, Alara turned to the tech-savvy engineer, Zara Voss. Zara was a prodigy, a girl who had grown up in the shadows of Silicon Valley, tinkering with gadgets and machines from a young age. She had a unique talent for understanding the language of technology, and her skills would be crucial in interpreting the sleepy submarine's ancient systems. Zara's enthusiasm was infectious, and she brought a sense of excitement and possibility to the crew. The final member of the team was a young, aspiring photographer named Finn Calloway. Finn had a keen eye for capturing the beauty of the natural world, and his passion for documenting the unknown made him the perfect chronicler of the adventure. His camera was his constant companion, and he had a way of seeing the world that transcended the limitations of human perception. With her crew assembled, Alara set sail from San Francisco, her heart pounding with a mix of anticipation and trepidation. The journey to the sleepy submarine's resting place was long and perilous, but the team was determined. They sailed through stormy seas, past schools of curious dolphins, and over the remains of long-sunken ships. Each day brought them closer to the cove, and each night, Alara would consult her ancient charts, tracing the path that would lead them to the submarine. The awakening. After weeks at sea, the crew finally reached the hidden cove. The sleepy submarine was a marvel to behold, its hull shimmering with a bioluminescent glow that seemed to pulse with a life of its own. Alara led the team down to the submarine, her boots sinking into the soft, sandy bottom. As they approached, the submarine's massive hatch creaked open, and a gentle light spilled out, inviting them inside. The interior of the sleepy submarine was unlike anything they had ever seen. The walls were lined with delicate, organic materials that seemed to grow and shift with the movement of the water. The control room was a blend of advanced technology and ancient craftsmanship, with holographic displays floating alongside polished wooden panels. At the center of the room was a large, circular table, and upon it, a map of the ocean's depths, illuminated with a network of glowing lines and symbols. As the crew gathered around the table, the submarine's deep, resonant voice filled the room. "Welcome, travelers. I am the sleepy submarine, guardian of the deep and keeper of ancient knowledge. I have been called from my slumber to guide you on a journey that will change the course of human understanding. Are you ready to delve into the unknown?" Alara, Theo, Zara, and Finn exchanged glances, their eyes reflecting the excitement and the gravity of the moment. "We are ready," Alara replied, her voice steady. "What is the nature of our mission?" The sleepy submarine paused, its glow pulsing in a rhythm that seemed almost like breathing. "You must journey to the heart of the abyss, a place where the waters are deeper than the darkness. There, you will uncover the secrets that have shaped the ocean's history and the world above. But beware, for the heart of the abyss is a place of great power and great danger. You must approach with caution and respect." Without further ado, the sleepy submarine began to rise from the seabed, its engines humming with a sound that was both mechanical and organic. The crew took their places, and the submarine descended into the depths, its path lit by the bioluminescent creatures that swarmed around it. The descent. The journey to the heart of the abyss was a descent into a world of shadows and secrets. As they dove deeper, the light from the surface faded, and the submarine's interior lights became the only source of illumination. The water pressure increased, and the submarine's hull creaked and groaned, but it remained steadfast, its ancient systems working in harmony to maintain the crew's safety. Theo had his eyes fixed on the holographic displays, analyzing the data as they descended. "The water here is incredibly rich in minerals and nutrients," he observed. "It's like a hidden ecosystem, thriving in the darkness. I've never seen anything like it." Zara, meanwhile, was busy with the submarine's systems, her fingers dancing over the controls. "The sleepy submarine is using a combination of modern and ancient technology," she explained. "It's like it's learning as we go, adapting to the environment. I can feel the energy of the ocean flowing through it." Finn, ever the photographer, was busy capturing the surreal scenes outside the portholes. Giant squids swam past, their tentacles as long as the submarine itself. Schools of fish glowed with bioluminescent light, creating a mesmerizing display that seemed almost otherworldly. "This is incredible," Finn murmured, his camera never leaving his hand. Alara, the captain, kept a watchful eye on the navigation systems, her mind racing with the possibilities that lay ahead. The heart of the abyss was a place of legend, a place where the boundaries between myth and reality blurred. She had prepared for this moment for years, and she was determined to see it through. The first encounter. As they approached the abyss, the sleepy submarine slowed, its movements becoming more deliberate and cautious. The crew could feel the change in the water, a shift in the currents that seemed to warn them of the dangers ahead. Alara's instincts told her to be on high alert, and she signaled the team to prepare for the unknown. Suddenly, a massive, shadowy form appeared in the darkness, its presence almost palpable. The crew tensed, their hearts pounding in unison. The form resolved into a creature of immense size and grace, a living being that seemed to be composed of both light and shadow. Its eyes were like glowing orbs, and its movements were fluid, almost dance-like. "Who are you?" Theo asked, his voice a mix of awe and curiosity. The creature's voice, deep and resonant, filled the submarine. "I am the keeper of the abyss, guardian of the secrets that lie within. I have been watching you, and I know of your quest. But before you can proceed, you must prove your worth. You must show me that you respect the ocean and its inhabitants." Alara stepped forward, her voice calm and confident. "We come in peace, Keeper. We seek to learn and to understand, not to harm or take. We respect the ocean and all that it holds. Will you guide us?" The Keeper studied Alara for a moment, its eyes flickering with a myriad of colors. "I will guide you, but I will also test you. The heart of the abyss is not a place for the unworthy. Are you prepared to face the challenges that lie ahead?" Alara nodded, and the Keeper's form began to dissolve into the water, leaving behind a trail of shimmering light. The sleepy submarine continued its descent, the Keeper's presence a constant, guiding force. The challenges. The first challenge came in the form of a massive underwater current, a force that threatened to capsize the submarine. Alara and Zara worked together, using both the submarine's advanced thrusters and its ancient, intuitive systems to navigate the turbulent waters. The submarine's hull groaned, but it held strong, and they emerged on the other side, victorious. The second challenge was more subtle. As they approached a large, underwater cave, a thick fog of darkness enveloped the submarine. Theo's instruments detected a strange, almost supernatural presence, and the crew felt a sense of unease. "This is not natural," Theo said, his voice tinged with concern. "There's something here that doesn't want us to pass." Alara turned to Finn. "We need light, Finn. Can you help us?" Finn nodded, and he began to take a series of photographs, each one capturing a sliver of light that seemed to pierce the darkness. The photographs were not just images. They were rays of hope, and they gradually illuminated the cave, revealing a path forward. "The light will guide us," Finn said, his voice steady. As they emerged from the cave, the submarine's hull was covered in a layer of glowing crystals, and the crew could feel the energy of the ocean coursing through the vessel. "The sleepy submarine is growing stronger," Zara noted, her fingers tracing the new patterns on the control panel. "It's like the ocean itself is lending us its power." The heart of the abyss. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, they reached the heart of the abyss. The submarine settled into a large, open space, surrounded by towering columns of rock and bioluminescent plants that glowed with a soft, ethereal light. At the center of the space was a massive, crystal-clear pool, so deep that it seemed to reach the very core of the earth. The sleepy submarine spoke once more. "This is the heart of the abyss, the source of the ocean's power and the repository of its ancient knowledge. Only those who are pure of heart and mind can survive here. Are you ready to face the final test?" Alara, Theo, Zara, and Finn prepared themselves, knowing that this was the moment they had been waiting for. One by one, they stepped into the crystal pool, feeling the water's energy envelop them. It was a sensation unlike any other, a mixture of warmth and cold, of light and darkness, of life and death. The pool began to swirl, and the crew found themselves in a dreamlike state, their minds transported to a realm of visions and memories. Alara saw the ocean's history unfold before her, from the birth of the first marine life to the rise and fall of ancient civilizations. Theo saw the intricate web of life that existed in the deep, the delicate balance that maintained the ecosystem. Zara saw the evolution of technology, from the earliest boats to the most advanced submarines. Finn saw the beauty of the ocean in all its forms, from the smallest plankton to the largest whales. When the visions ended, the crew emerged from the pool, their minds clearer and their hearts lighter. They had been transformed, their understanding of the ocean and their place in it forever changed. The secrets unveiled. The sleepy submarine led the crew to a hidden chamber, where a series of ancient tablets and scrolls were stored. These artifacts contained the secrets of the ocean, knowledge that had been lost to the world for millennia. Alara, Theo, Zara, and Finn worked together to decipher the texts, each bringing their unique skills to the task. The tablets revealed the history of the sleepy submarine itself, a vessel built by a civilization that had mastered the art of living in harmony with the ocean. They had created the submarine as a way to explore the depths and to protect the ocean's secrets from those who would misuse them. The scrolls contained detailed maps of the ocean's currents, the locations of hidden underwater cities, and the secrets of bioluminescence and marine life. Alara realized that the sleepy submarine was more than just a vessel. It was a key to understanding the ocean's past and its future. She knew that they had to share this knowledge with the world, but they had to do it responsibly, ensuring that the ocean's secrets were not abused. The journey home, with the secrets of the heart of the abyss in hand, the crew prepared to return to the surface. The sleepy submarine began its ascent, its glow growing brighter as the water pressure decreased. The journey back was just as perilous as the descent, but the crew felt a sense of purpose and determination. As they neared the surface, the sleepy submarine spoke one last time. "You have proven yourselves worthy, travelers. The ocean is a vast and mysterious place, and it is up to you to use what you have learned to protect it. Remember always that the ocean is our lifeblood, and that we are all connected to it. May your journey home be safe, and may your hearts remain open to the wonders of the deep." The sleepy submarine breached the surface, and the crew took a deep breath, the fresh air filling their lungs. They had returned, but they were not the same. The ocean had given them a gift, a responsibility, and a new perspective on the world. Legacy of the deep. Upon their return to San Francisco, Alara, Theo, Zara, and Finn shared their findings with the world. They published papers, gave lectures, and created exhibitions that showcased the beauty and the complexity of the ocean. The sleepy submarine became a symbol of hope and a reminder of the need to protect the marine environment. The sleepy submarine itself returned to its resting place in the cove, its mission complete. But the crew knew that it would always be there, waiting for the next generation of explorers to answer its call. The ocean was vast, and the secrets of the deep were infinite. The journey had only just begun. Epilogue. Years later, Alara stood on the deck of a new ship, her eyes fixed on the horizon. She had aged, but her spirit remained as vibrant as ever. The sleepy submarine had changed her, and she carried its wisdom with her wherever she went. As she gazed out at the ocean, she felt a familiar presence, a gentle whisper that seemed to come from the depths. "We will always be here," the sleepy submarine said. "The ocean will always call to those who seek to understand it. May your journey continue, and may the ocean's secrets guide you." Alara smiled, a sense of peace washing over her. The ocean was a place of endless wonder, and the sleepy submarine had shown her that the journey was just as important as the destination. She turned to her crew, a new generation of explorers who were eager to follow in her footsteps. "Are you ready to answer the call?" she asked, her voice carrying the weight of the ocean and the promise of the unknown. The crew nodded, their eyes shining with the same curiosity and determination that had driven Alara so many years ago. Together, they set sail, ready to dive into the deep once more, and to uncover the next chapter in the ocean's eternal story. Adventures in Cloudland. Chapter 1. the mysterious invitation. In the heart of the bustling city of Technopolis, nestled among towering skyscrapers and neon lights, lived a young software engineer named Alara. Alara was known for her brilliant mind and unwavering curiosity. She spent her days coding intricate algorithms and her nights dreaming of far-off places she could only imagine. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the city lights flickered to life, Alara received an unusual email. The sender was unknown, and the subject line read, "Adventures in Cloudland." Intrigued, Alara opened the email. The message was short but filled with wonder. "Dear Alara, we have observed your exceptional skills and your insatiable curiosity. Cloudland, a realm beyond the bounds of your world, is in need of your talents. If you accept this invitation, you will embark on a journey that will challenge your intellect, test your courage, and broaden your horizons. To enter Cloudland, all you need to do is find the hidden portal in your city. It will reveal itself to you when the time is right. Sincerely, the Cloudland Council." Alara's heart raced. The idea of a realm beyond her world, where her skills could be put to use, was too tempting to resist. She decided to accept the invitation and began her quest to find the hidden portal. Chapter 2. The Hidden Portal. The next day, Alara set out to explore Technopolis with a new purpose. She walked through the familiar streets, her eyes scanning every corner for any sign of the hidden portal. As the day wore on, she grew increasingly frustrated. The portal seemed to be as elusive as a mirage in the desert. Just as Alara was about to give up, she noticed a peculiar bookstore tucked away in a quiet alley. The sign above the door read, "Cloud's End." Something about the name caught her attention. She pushed open the creaky door and stepped inside. The bookstore was old and musty, filled with shelves upon shelves of dusty tomes and ancient scrolls. Behind the counter stood an elderly man with a long, silver beard and eyes that twinkled with mischief. "Ah, Alara," he said, as if he had been expecting her. "I've been waiting for you." Alara's eyes widened. "How do you know my name?" The old man smiled. "Let's just say I have my ways. You're looking for the portal to Cloudland, aren't you?" Alara nodded, her curiosity piqued. "Yes, I received an invitation. Do you know where it is?" The old man gestured to a round, ornate mirror hanging on the wall behind him. "Through that mirror, you will find the gateway to Cloudland. But be warned, the path is not easy, and the realm is filled with challenges." Alara approached the mirror, her heart pounding. She reached out and touched the glass, and to her surprise, her hand passed through as if the mirror were made of water. Without hesitation, she stepped through the portal, and the world around her dissolved into a swirling vortex of colors and light. Chapter 3. Arrival in Cloudland. When Alara's vision cleared, she found herself standing on a soft, fluffy cloud. The sky was a brilliant shade of blue, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of flowers. Below her, she could see a vast landscape of interconnected clouds, each one a different hue and shape. In the distance, she spotted a city made entirely of cloud formations, with buildings that looked like cotton candy and streets that shimmered like silk. A gentle breeze carried her forward, and she soon landed in the heart of the Cloud City. The streets were bustling with cloud beings, ethereal creatures that resembled humans but were made of mist and light. They greeted her with warm smiles and curious glances. "Welcome, Alara," a cloud being named Lumina said, approaching her. "We've been expecting you. I am Lumina, your guide in Cloudland. Follow me, and I will show you the wonders of our realm." Lumina led Alara through the Cloud City, pointing out various landmarks and explaining the unique properties of Cloudland. The buildings were not just structures but living entities that could change shape and color at will. The streets were lined with trees that bore fruit made of mist, and the rivers flowed with liquid light. As they walked, Alara noticed a grand palace in the center of the city. "What is that place?" she asked, pointing to the palace. "That is the Cloudland Council," Lumina replied. "They are the wise guardians of our realm, and they have summoned you here for a special task. We must hurry, as time is of the essence." Chapter 4. The Council's Task. Lumina and Alara approached the palace, and the doors opened before them. Inside, the council chamber was a vast, open space with a circular table at the center. Surrounding the table were the council members, each one a cloud being of immense wisdom and power. "Welcome, Alara," said the council leader, a being named Ether. "We have observed your skills and your determination. Cloudland is facing a great threat, and we believe you are the key to our salvation." Ether explained that Cloudland was under attack by a dark force known as the Shadowlands. This force was corrupting the clouds, causing them to collapse and fall into the abyss below. The Shadowlands were led by a powerful sorcerer named Obsidian, who sought to consume Cloudland and plunge it into eternal darkness. "Your task is to find the 4 elements of harmony," Ether continued. "These elements, light, wind, water, and fire, are the keys to restoring the balance in Cloudland. They are scattered across the realm, each guarded by a powerful guardian. You must gather them and use their combined power to defeat Obsidian and save our world." Alara felt a surge of excitement and a hint of fear. The task was daunting, but she knew she had to try. "I accept," she said with a determined nod. The council smiled. "Excellent. Lumina will guide you on your journey. May the winds of fate be with you." Chapter 5. The journey begins. Lumina and Alara left the palace, ready to begin their quest. Their first destination was the Temple of Light, located on the highest cloud in the realm. The temple was a magnificent structure, its walls gleaming with a radiant glow. As they approached, a figure materialized before them, a being of pure light named Solaris. "Solaris, this is Alara," Lumina said. "She has come to retrieve the element of light." Solaris nodded gravely. "To prove your worth, Alara, you must solve the riddle of reflection. Only by understanding the true nature of light can you gain the element." Solaris led them to a chamber filled with mirrors of all shapes and sizes. At the center was a large, circular mirror with a deep, reflective surface. "Look into this mirror," Solaris instructed. "What do you see?" Alara gazed into the mirror, and her reflection stared back at her. But as she looked deeper, she saw more than just her own image. She saw the reflection of her dreams, her fears, her hopes, and her doubts. The mirror seemed to amplify her emotions, making her feel both vulnerable and powerful. Suddenly, a voice echoed in her mind. "True light is not just what you see, but what you perceive. It is the illumination of the soul, the clarity of the mind, and the warmth of the heart." Alara realized that the riddle was not about the mirror itself, but about her own inner light. She closed her eyes and focused on her core, feeling the warmth and brightness within her. When she opened her eyes, the mirror glowed with a brilliant light, and a small, glowing orb appeared in its center. Solaris smiled. "You have solved the riddle. Here is the element of light." Alara took the orb, feeling its power coursing through her. She and Lumina continued their journey, heading toward the next element. Chapter 6. The Whispering Winds. Their next destination was the windswept plateau, a vast expanse of clouds where the wind howled constantly. At the heart of the plateau stood the Tower of the Wind, a spiraling structure that seemed to dance with the gusts. As they approached, a gust of wind spoke to them. "Alara, welcome. To gain the element of wind, you must understand the language of the air. Listen closely, and you will find what you seek." Alara and Lumina entered the tower, and the wind grew stronger, almost as if it were trying to push them back. Alara closed her eyes and focused on the sound of the wind, letting it wash over her. She listened to the whispers, the sighs, and the howls, and gradually, she began to understand the wind's language. It spoke of freedom, of change, and of the need to adapt. It whispered of the balance between stillness and movement, of the power of both gentle breezes and fierce storms. Alara opened her eyes and spoke aloud. "The wind teaches us to be flexible, to embrace change, and to find strength in movement. It is the breath of life, the force that shapes the world." The wind calmed, and a small, shimmering feather appeared before her. "You have understood the wind," it said. "Here is the element of wind." Alara took the feather, feeling its lightness and energy. She and Lumina set off for the next element, the water of reflection. Chapter 7. The Water of Reflection. The Water of Reflection was located in a deep, misty valley where a majestic lake stretched out beneath the clouds. The lake was as still as glass, reflecting the sky above in perfect clarity. At the edge of the lake stood a cloud being named Aquara. Alara, to gain the element of water, you must understand the depth of reflection. Look into the lake, and you will see more than just your image. Alara approached the lake and knelt beside it. She gazed into the water, and as she did, the surface began to ripple. Her reflection dissolved, and in its place, she saw a series of memories and visions. She saw her childhood, her struggles, her triumphs, and her dreams. She saw the people she had helped and the challenges she had overcome. The lake showed her a tapestry of her life, woven with threads of joy, sorrow, and everything in between. As she watched, the water began to form a shape, a small, blue crystal. Reflection is not just about seeing yourself, Aquara said. It is about understanding your place in the world and the impact you have on others. It is the mirror of your soul, the depth of your being. Alara took the crystal, feeling its cool, soothing energy. She and Lumina continued their journey, heading toward the final element, the flame of creation. Chapter 8. The Flame of Creation. The flame of creation was hidden deep within the volcanic clouds, a region of the realm where the clouds were tinged with red and orange, and the air was warm and smoky. At the center of the volcanic clouds stood a massive, fiery cloud being named Ignis. Alara, the flame of creation is the most powerful of the elements, Ignis said. To gain it, you must understand the essence of creation. You must harness the fire within you and use it to bring new life into the world. Alara and Lumina approached a blazing forge where the flames danced and swirled. Ignis handed Alara a small, empty vessel. You must create something from nothing. Use the fire to shape and mold, to bring forth something that has never existed before. Alara took the vessel and closed her eyes. She focused on the fire, feeling its heat and power. She thought about what she wanted to create, a symbol of hope, a beacon of light. Slowly, she began to shape the vessel, using the flames to form a small, intricate lantern. When she was finished, the lantern glowed with a warm, golden light. Creation is not just about making something new, Alara said. It is about using the fire within us to inspire and uplift others. It is the spark that ignites the world. Ignis nodded, impressed. You have understood the flame of creation. Here is the element. Alara took the flaming orb, feeling its intense, creative energy. She and Lumina now had all four elements and were ready to face Obsidian. Chapter 9. The Battle with Obsidian. With the four elements of harmony in hand, Alara and Lumina made their way to the Shadowlands, a dark, foreboding region of Cloudland where the clouds were black and the air heavy with malice. They found Obsidian in the heart of the Shadowlands, standing on a crumbling cloud platform surrounded by shadows. Alara, Obsidian sneered, I have been expecting you. You think you can stop me? You are but a mere mortal, and your elements are nothing compared to my power. Alara stood firm, the elements glowing in her hands. I may be mortal, but I have the power of light, wind, water, and fire. I will not let you destroy Cloudland. Obsidian laughed, a sound that echoed through the shadows. He summoned a swirling mass of darkness, and the cloud platform began to crumble beneath them. Alara knew she had to act quickly. She combined the elements, and a blinding light erupted from her hands. The light pushed back the darkness, and the crumbling cloud stabilized. Obsidian was taken aback. You are strong, but not strong enough. Alara channeled the elements once more, this time focusing on the wind. She created a powerful gust that swept the shadows away, revealing the true form of Obsidian, a dark, twisted figure filled with hatred and despair. You are nothing but a shadow, Alara said. You cannot exist in a world of light. The elements will restore balance and banish you. Obsidian roared in anger, but it was too late. Alara combined the water and fire elements, creating a powerful steam that engulfed Obsidian. The steam purified the darkness, and Obsidian's form began to dissipate. Finally, the last remnants of the dark force were gone, and the clouds of the Shadowlands began to turn white and fluffy once more. Chapter 10. the return and the legacy. Alara and Lumina returned to the Cloud City, where they were met with cheers and applause. The Cloudland Council gathered to hear the tale of their hero. "Alara, you have saved our realm," Ether said. "The elements of harmony have restored balance, and the clouds are once again bright and strong. We are forever in your debt." Alara smiled, feeling a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment. "It was an honor to help, but I must return to my world. I have a life and a job waiting for me." The council nodded. "Of course, but before you go, we have a gift for you." Ether handed Alara a small, ornate box. "Inside this box is a piece of Cloudland. Keep it with you, and it will remind you of the adventures you have had and the friends you have made. It will also grant you the ability to return to Cloudland whenever you wish." Alara opened the box and found a small, glowing cloud. She felt a deep connection to it, a reminder of the incredible journey she had undertaken. As she prepared to leave, Lumina hugged her. "Thank you, Alara. You have given us hope. Remember, the elements are always within you, and you can bring light and harmony to any realm you choose to visit." Alara stepped through the portal once more, and the world of Technopolis came into view. She found herself back in the musty bookstore, the round mirror gleaming before her. The old man smiled. "You have done well, Alara. The realm of Cloudland is in your debt." Alara nodded, her heart full of gratitude. She left the bookstore, the box of the cloud tucked safely in her bag, and returned to her life in Technopolis. But she knew that the adventures in Cloudland had changed her. She now carried the elements within her, and she was ready to face any challenge with courage and determination. And so, Alara's life continued, but with a newfound sense of purpose and a deep connection to the realm of Cloudland. She knew that whenever she needed a reminder of her journey, she could open the box and be transported back to the magical world where she had found her true strength. Epilogue. Years passed, and Alara became a renowned software engineer, known not only for her technical skills but for her ability to inspire and lead. She often spoke of her adventures in Cloudland, and her stories brought hope and light to those around her. And every now and then, when the city of Technopolis was shrouded in darkness and the stars were hidden by the smog, Alara would open the box and a small, glowing cloud would rise into the night sky, a beacon of hope and a reminder that even in the darkest of times, light and harmony can be found. The adventures in Cloudland had not only saved a realm but had also transformed Alara, making her a true hero in both worlds. Sammy's Sandcastle Dreams. In the heart of a quaint seaside town called Seaview, where the salty air mingled with the scent of coconut oil and the sound of seagulls filled the morning sky, lived a young boy named Sammy. Sammy was not just any ordinary boy. He had a passion that set him apart from the rest. Every day, he would wake up with the sunrise, his eyes alight with the promise of the beach, and he would spend hours crafting the most intricate sandcastles anyone had ever seen. Sammy's house was a small, whitewashed cottage just a stone's throw away from the golden sands of Seaview Beach. The cottage was surrounded by a garden of sunflowers and lavender, and the front porch was always filled with the laughter of children. Sammy's parents, Mark and Emily, were both marine biologists who had moved to Seaview to study the local marine life. They were proud of Sammy's creativity and often joined him in his beach projects. But it was Sammy's singular dedication to sandcastle building that truly stood out. Sammy's days began early, even before the first rays of sunlight touched the horizon. He would jump out of bed, his sandy blonde hair tousled and his blue eyes sparkling with excitement. After a quick breakfast of toast and jam, he would grab his bucket, spade, and a worn-out notebook filled with sketches and plans and head to the beach. The beach was his canvas, the sand his medium, and the waves his allies. He had a deep understanding of the tides and the way the sand behaved, and he used this knowledge to create his masterpieces. One summer, a new family moved into the large Victorian house at the end of the street. The family consisted of Mr. and Mrs. Thompson and their daughter, Lily, who was just a year younger than Sammy. Lily had never seen the ocean before, and she was as fascinated by the beach as Sammy was by sandcastles. On her first day in Seaview, she ran to the shore, her pigtails bouncing with each step, and stumbled upon Sammy's latest creation. A sprawling kingdom complete with towers, moats, and even a miniature drawbridge. "Wow," Lily exclaimed, her eyes wide with wonder. "Did you build this?" Sammy, who was busy adding the final touches to a turret, looked up and smiled. "Yeah, I did. It's my kingdom of Atlantis. Want to see the throne room?" Lily nodded eagerly, and Sammy led her around the sandcastle, explaining each part with the enthusiasm of a tour guide. Lily was captivated by the level of detail, from the tiny shell decorations to the intricate patterns etched into the walls. Sammy's passion was infectious, and soon, Lily was asking to help. Sammy, always happy to share his love for sandcastle building, handed her a small spade and showed her how to shape the sand. From that day on, Lily became Sammy's most loyal partner in crime. They spent every sunny morning and afternoon on the beach, their laughter mingling with the gentle lapping of the waves. Sammy taught Lily everything he knew, and together they built sandcastles that rivaled any fairy tale castle in grandeur. As the summer progressed, the townspeople began to take notice of Sammy and Lily's creations. Parents would bring their children to see the sandcastles, and soon, a small crowd would gather each day to watch the two young builders at work. Sammy and Lily became local celebrities, and their sandcastles became a must-see attraction in Seaview. One day, while they were working on a particularly ambitious project, a castle with a maze and a secret garden, Mr. Thompson, Lily's father, approached them with a proposition. The town was planning a sandcastle building contest to celebrate the end of the summer, and he wanted to know if Sammy and Lily would be interested in participating. Sammy's eyes lit up like the sun itself, and Lily grinned from ear to ear. "Of course we will," Sammy exclaimed, "but we have to make it perfect. The best sandcastle Seaview has ever seen." Over the next few weeks, Sammy and Lily poured their hearts into their contest entry. They spent countless hours researching the best techniques, experimenting with different tools, and even creating molds to ensure their towers were symmetrical. Sammy's notebook was now a treasure trove of designs, and they discussed each one, debating the merits of turrets versus spires, and the placement of every seashell and pebble. The day of the contest arrived, and the beach was abuzz with excitement. Families had set up their own sandcastle stations, and the air was filled with the sounds of laughter, the smell of barbecue, and the occasional cry of a seagull. Sammy and Lily, dressed in their beachwear and armed with their tools, set to work on a patch of sand that Mr. Thompson had reserved for them. Their plan was to build a castle that told a story. The main tower would represent the heart of the kingdom, with a grand entrance and a series of smaller towers surrounding it. Each tower would have a unique design, representing different aspects of their lives in Seaview. The moat would be filled with water from the nearby rocks, and the drawbridge would be made of sticks and seaweed. Sammy's parents, Mark and Emily, had even managed to find some colorful stones and shells to add as decorations. As the sun rose higher in the sky, the other contestants began to finish their sandcastles. Some were simple, with a single tower and a few walls. Others were elaborate, with intricate designs and painted details. But none could compare to the work of Sammy and Lily. Their sandcastle was a masterpiece, a testament to their creativity and hard work. Finally, after hours of building, the sandcastle was complete. It stood tall and proud, a beacon of beauty and craftsmanship. The main tower was adorned with seashells and stones, and the smaller towers each had a unique design. One tower was shaped like a lighthouse, another like a ship, and the third like a mermaid's tail. The moat was filled with clear water, and the drawbridge was a perfect replica of the ones in storybooks. The secret garden was a hidden gem, with tiny shellflowers and pebble paths. The judges of the contest, a panel of local artists and community leaders, were blown away by Sammy and Lily's creation. They praised the level of detail, the creativity, and the storytelling aspect of the sandcastle. As the sun began to set, the crowd gathered around the final entries, and the excitement was palpable. Finally, the moment of truth arrived. The mayor of Seaview, a kindly old man with a white beard and a colorful hat, stepped up to the podium. "Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for participating in this wonderful contest. We have seen some truly amazing sandcastles today, and the judges have had a very difficult time deciding on the winner. But in the end, one sandcastle stood out above the rest. The winner of this year's sandcastle building contest is Sammy and Lily." The crowd erupted in applause, and Sammy and Lily hugged each other, their faces glowing with pride. They had done it. They had built the best sandcastle Seaview had ever seen. The summer ended, and the Thompsons moved away, but Sammy and Lily's sandcastle remained a beloved memory in Seaview. The beach was often dotted with small replicas of the castle, as children and adults alike tried to recreate the magic of that summer. Sammy continued to build sandcastles, each one more intricate than the last, and he always kept a special place in his heart for the one he built with Lily. Years went by, and Sammy grew up. He moved away from Seaview to pursue his education, but he never forgot the beach where his dreams took shape. He became an architect, and his designs were influenced by the sandcastles he built as a child. He returned to Seaview every summer, and each time, he would visit the spot where he and Lily had built their winning sandcastle. One summer, as Sammy was walking along the beach, he noticed a small girl with pigtails looking up at him with curious eyes. "Excuse me, mister," she said, holding up a tiny sandcastle. "Are you the one who used to build the big sandcastles here?" Sammy smiled, remembering the days of his youth. "Yes, I am, and I'm still building sandcastles, just like you are now. What's your name?" "I'm Lily," the girl replied, her face lighting up with a familiar smile. Sammy's heart skipped a beat. "That's a wonderful name. My best friend used to be named Lily. She was the one who helped me build the sandcastle that won the contest all those years ago." The little Lily beamed. "I want to build a castle just like that one day. Can you show me how?" Sammy knelt down next to her, picking up a spade and a bucket. "Of course I can. Let's start with the foundation. You see, building a sandcastle is like telling a story. Each part of the castle represents something important. Are you ready to tell your story through sand?" The girl nodded enthusiastically, and Sammy felt a warmth in his heart that he hadn't felt in years. As they worked together, shaping the sand and adding the final touches, Sammy realized that his love for sandcastles had never truly left him. It had simply evolved, transforming into a passion for creating beautiful and meaningful things. And so, the legacy of Sammy's sandcastles continued, passed down from one generation to the next, a symbol of the dreams and creativity that could be found in the simplest of things. On that beach, where the waves whispered secrets and the sand held the promise of endless possibilities, Sammy's dreams had come full circle, and he knew that no matter where life took him, he would always carry the spirit of Seaview and the memories of his childhood with him. The end of summer came and went, but the spirit of Sammy's sandcastle dreams remained alive, a beacon of hope and creativity in the hearts of all who visited Seaview Beach.